thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome back, everyone, to episode 185 of the Massenomics podcast. We are the lifting podcast about nothing. Before we get too deep into 185, let's hear a little bit from our supporting sponsors. Today's episode is brought to us by Spud Inc. The goal of Spud Inc. straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. This episode is also brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. They're your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching. Whether your goals are training related, nutrition and body composition related, or both, Hybrid has got a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you're in the best hands possible. Use code MASS, M-A-S-S, in all caps for 5% off any training or nutrition memberships for the life of your membership. Visit hybridperformancemethod.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large is your one-stop online shop for powerlifters, strongmen, Highland Games athletes, CrossFit athletes, and anyone that lifts iron. Visit liftinglarge.com today. There's free shipping on any orders over $60, and 99% of those orders are shipped the same day that they are placed. Thank you to our sponsors. Like I said, this is episode 185. Your two hosts are here again today. My name is Tanner. And Tommy, what's your name?
My name's Tommy.
Oh, okay.
I actually had to check when you said 185. I thought, damn, is that really the number?
Is that right?
I think so.
I keep waiting for the episode when we go through the whole thing, and we say it at the beginning, we say it at the end, and everything, and it's gonna be like,
wrong.
oh, that wasn't right, and that has not happened.
I
yet.
never pay attention to the number. Today's probably the first time I ever paid attention to the number, and I actually had to look and see if that was actually.
It's
correct,
not really necessary to say the number, even, but I just like to do it.
Some people might just be on autoplay and they're just letting it spin, and we gotta keep them in line with where they're at.
I still, it's still interesting to me when people will say that they just started the podcast. Like, that alone is weird to think that people are like just found out about it and just started listening to it, and like the guy Dave that runs Garage Gym Powerlifting.
Yes.
He lives out in Utah. He just started the podcast from one.
I saw that and was absolutely shocked.
Yeah, and he works out. He works on solar panels.
Is that what it was? I saw the.
Yeah, he works out on these solar panels.
I think on a story of the video playing or something.
Yeah, and he's by himself all day. So I said, geez, it's going to take you a while to catch up to 185. And like within 3 days, he was on episode 21. I was like, holy crap.
Oh, man.
And I told him, you're going to notice some significant differences. That's such a small amount of time that you're going to hear the whole story.
It's compressed so hard. Like, it'd actually be really, we should almost just talk to him when it's done.
Like,
and like get his opinion and be like, hey, how, because I'm never going to go back and do that. Like, how was that, taking that all in? Like, like, did you notice any major, like maybe, the obvious shifts of the biggest one would be Tyler Levy.
Right,
obviously,
right.
someone leaves a podcast
to two.
It's a very different thing. But if he notices any major shifts, probably even later on he'll notice just our format did change quite a bit too.
Right,
from kind of having a single topic to just kind of being okay.
We are the segment podcast now.
Oh,
like
podcast about nothing. Really,
Yes, we are the podcast about nothing, and we are the segment lifting podcast about nothing. Several variations of saying that thing, but like in the beginning, we didn't have segments like we do now at all. We didn't
have these bubbling personalities.
No, that's
either.
true. That's true. We eventually did have like the Tanner Sack was kind of a segment
that
thing.
Was probably one of the first ones, actually.
Yeah, but it was a long time after that until we said, hey, I don't know which one would have been the first one that we got, whether it was overrated, underrated, or that was obviously the first one that we really stuck to for a long time.
Oh, yep, for sure. I don't even know. Like, it's just...
You know what else is funny to think that, in any given month, there's whatever, at least 10,000, there's like 10,000 people listening to these. If you were in a room,
we'd be just selling out auditoriums.
But like if you were,
I would suck. I would suck at this so bad.
Just think if there's a few thousand people, like this episode, within the time that it comes out, within a few weeks, there'll be, over 1,000 people that listen to this.
Yeah.
If there's 1,000 people sitting in front of us right now, it'd be like, oh, I suddenly feel significantly more pressure than.
Oh yeah, I feel like I'm under everyone's eye. Like you can't be yourself, but that's it. You can't think of it that way.
No.
I mean, you have to realize that yes, a lot of people will hear it, but it's the same thing. In my job with graphic design, and I'm sure a lot of people's jobs, if you think about it enough, it probably happens. But like I remember early in my design career thinking like, oh, this website's going to be seen by this many people, or this project's going to be, maybe a sign is going to be hung here and printed here, and these they're going to run 30,000, 40,000 of this piece I designed.
Yeah.
And thinking like, God, so many people are going to see it. Then you realize like, well, but also everyone's just having their own little quick experience with it. Like it's not like, all right, 30,000 people attack this thing, like pick it apart, and like that's just not how it works.
Ever is going to scrutinize it the way that you do.
No, and that's what you can't. Like, yeah, you have to be aware of how it's going to be consumed in the end with anything you're producing, whether you're writing a report at your job or an email. Like, you have to be aware of how it's going to be consumed, but you can't think of like how every single person is going to react to it, because you would get nothing done.
Right. Right. So we just act like nobody listens to this, like it was at the beginning.
That is the easiest way. But yeah, it is really funny to think of like, what if we did a live? Because some podcasts do that. We're not at that. We're obviously nowhere when we don't even live in a part of the country that would ever allow it. But some podcasts do like a live show,
right?
And I think like, God, how would a live show even go for us? Like, I mean, we'd obviously have stuff to talk about if it's a live show. I don't know. Like,
I picture like a lot of heckling.
Probably, yes.
Oh, your shorts are so expensive.
Oh yeah, there would definitely be. I would be like shocked if that didn't happen, but I don't even know. Just the dynamic would be so different, because instead of me, for the most part, us kind of talking towards each other, we're kind of talking towards an audience now. It would be weird.
Yeah. I like you sent me the little SNL skit, as long as we're talking about podcasts. And
yeah, so there was it was the guy on Stranger. Did you watch Stranger Things, Tanner?
Yeah, I'm not.
Have you watched all 3 seasons?
I'm not. I haven't watched the third season.
I started like the first episode, fell asleep, and then I just never went back to it.
I don't know. The first 2 seasons were enough for me. Where
and that's what I had a lot of fun the first 2 seasons, and then I was thinking, well, maybe I've seen these kids get into enough trouble. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sure if I actually sat down and watched the third one, I would probably still be entertained. But whatever. Is it Hopper? Is that his name?
Yeah, the cop.
Yeah, whatever his name is. He was on SNL, I think, a week or 2 ago. And
he was the dad on that.
Yeah.
Didn't even put that
Elle's
together.
dad.
Yeah.
And one of the, Saturday Night Live always has these fake commercial skit things that they do, and I thought it was a very funny concept. It was, what did they call it? Like father-son podcasting mic or something. And all it was a mic stand that you set on it. It starts with a kid and his dad, like a teenager and his dad, and they can't talk about anything. And then the dad, I think, gets out the father-son podcast mic kit, and they set down this the podcast microphone on a table. They're face to face, and they each have a microphone, and they're talking like they're on a podcast, and that's their way of talking about things.
Because it's the only way they can talk.
Yes, because it's the only way you can talk uninhibited. Because otherwise, our phones might ring during the podcast, but it's one of the few times in life outside of like maybe a meeting at work where you can't look at your phone,
right?
Where you're like, well, I'm going to put that on hold because we're doing this thing.
Yeah.
And so it's just funny because they're like, yep, they're acknowledging like a podcast is the only way in this day and age to have an actual face-to-face conversation with anyone, especially a father-son, like when you put it in that perspective. But what I really liked was when they're like, and when things start to get uncomfortable.
That was the best part.
Because what was his son saying? I think he was about to say like, I love you, Dad, or something. Yeah. And then all of a sudden his dad comes off. And let's not forget, today's episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Make your next move.
And the son's like, he
and
he
starts
goes into this commercial.
Yeah, that's right, Dad. Save 15% of your next plan by visiting and whatever.
Yeah.
He goes, that was great, son.
Squarespace is pretty heavily advertised on podcasts, too.
They are.
They definitely attacking that market.
I listen to a lot of what I would consider podcasts that are not connected in any way, and Squarespace is on all of them.
Yeah.
Like it is on all of them, but
it is. We got to get them as
we do. Got to get them. I could be using the promo code just on my own.
Yeah, that's true. Massenomics uses Squarespace.
We do. We could use it on our own. Keep that going. But I think that's what's happening in the podcast world. We got that part covered.
Yeah.
We did, Tanner. We did survive Snowmageddon 2019, October 2019.
We do need to get back on the weather.
I would say that we did not all come out in one piece, and you may have, but I did not. My wife was sick going into it, and I thought, we're 4 days in. I am in the clear.
Yeah.
And just when I thought I was out, it pulled me in, and it was like Sunday night. I was feeling down a little bit, and I woke up Monday like someone was poisoned me while I was sleeping, and it was the whole like throat, couldn't breathe, felt so weak, all your bones ache. Like, you know that feeling when like cold things feel like it's literally like a cold nail touching you?
Yeah.
Like I never get that, except for when I'm sick. But like I know it's bad when, I have long hair, I get out of the shower, I'm out of the shower, and my hair starts dripping on my back, and I'm literally like jumping because I'm so sensitive to that cold stuff.
Yep.
And I'm happy to report though that I am on the up and up now.
You're on the upswing.
I'm coming around, but it was 2 days. It hit me really, really hard.
But you're on the mend now.
I am on the mend.
Snow is basically all gone already now too.
And I don't. Besides the big piles that like plows would have pushed around, I don't think there's any snow left in town.
No, I built an enormous.
You did build an
a
enormous,
really large snowman, and now it's down to one small.
Is that
ball.
all it is?
Yeah.
It looked really fun. Tanner had a video picking up this It looked like an enormous stone. It looks like
an atlas.
It looks like an atlas stone. This thing is huge. Like what was it? Probably 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
And then the fact that you could grab it and pick it up, it's like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Because
that was my first attempt, and I didn't know if I would be able to pick it up or if I would have to like try and lap it,
roll,
But I just grabbed it, and like I could kind of just pick it up, straight up with like one motion. I was like, it wasn't as heavy as I thought it was going to be.
It looked weird, like because it's such a big. You don't see objects that big,
right?
People actually picking them up, and the fact that it like stuck together and you could set it down, it's like, that seems fake.
Even in the moment, I was like, I'm surprised that worked like that.
Honey, I did this right here.
I was
step back, kids. Like
I was pretty proud of the snowman by the time we got finished.
Yeah, it was a real.
And now he's gone.
I'm sure he'll have a chance to come back before you know it.
Yes, for sure.
Probably not far away. I am getting thirsty though, Tanner.
Oh. Luckily, we've got a segment for that. Thirsty? There's a segment for that.
There is. I don't want you to look at the can again.
Okay. Can I look at the koozie?
You can look at the koozie. And spoiler alert, I don't want to give anything away, but we may have done something similar to this before.
Okay.
If not this before. I don't care. I'm really thirsty. So here we freaking go. Oh. That's that refreshment I needed. That is what I needed. Actually, I don't think we have done this before now that I think about it.
Let me take another sip of this. So this is our What's in That Can segment.
This is What's in That Can.
Where Tommy usually provides a beverage and I try to guess what's in the can. It's in our Massenomics deadlifter koozie. Boy, that is a tough. I mean, it's a sparkling water. I don't know the brand. I don't know if it's a LaCroix or a Buble. And I am struggling on the flavor on this. It's almost like it's quite literally is on the tip of my tongue.
I know as soon as I say it, you'll obviously figure it out, but
I'm leaning towards I don't know, like mango. I'm leaning towards mango or papaya or I'm going to guess it's a LaCroix. And I don't even know if mango is a flavor of LaCroix, but that's my guess.
I think mango is a flavor.
Okay.
This is not. Where this is tricky is it's technically two fruits, Tanner.
Okay.
And those two fruits are peach pear.
Peach. Yeah.
So you were close. You were
peach,
close.
Yes. Now I can tell that it's peach. Yeah.
Yeah. This is also one of my favorites.
This is good.
It's quite high on the flavor scale, and it tastes.
This
good
is
too.
a good one. This is really good one.
I only pick good ones, Tanner.
This is a good one, and now we get to that part of what's in the can where we have to give it our
JD Power Associates award.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I think I gave lime last week a 4.5. Didn't I?
Yeah, I did too.
I'm gonna go 4 on this. This is not best in class, but it is very good.
It is pretty good. Let me take another sip before I spit out my rating.
Before you give your verdict.
That's refreshing. I almost like it as good as the lime. I don't know. It's tough. I gave the lime 4.5 too. I'm on the fence of 4 and 4.5 JD Power and Associates Awards. I guess I like it pretty well. This is something I could, drink.
Really get behind?
Yeah, I'm going to give it 4.5.
Okay,
again.
wow.
I like this.
All
I
right.
like this as good as the lime one.
Okay. See, for me, if I'm talking the podium of LaCroix, I don't know if we've ever actually done this, but for me, the podium, it's lime is in first. And then second and third just bounces between peach pear and pamplemousse. That is how I roll. Those 3 right there. I couldn't even tell you the last time I bought a flavor that wasn't one of those 3.
Yeah, you almost can't not have pamplemousse.
You got to have that around. You got to have the pamplemousse on you.
The supple pamplemousse.
That's how you let people know you're living a slightly higher lifestyle when you got that pamplemousse on deck.
I definitely can it now that I know that it's peach.
Yeah,
I can't. Pear is a much harder fruit to pick out the flavor of.
Have you ever had a pear flavored beverage in your life?
No.
What pear flavor?
The only pear flavored beverage I can think of is the syrup in the pear sauce.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I've ever had a drink. This is probably the first drink that I ever remember drinking that pear was actually listed as a primary flavor in it.
Are pears good if they're not like in the softened pear sauce?
Have you ever had just a whole pear before?
No, I mean,
it's been a long time.
Eat it like an apple.
That's actually I honestly don't even really eat fruit like ever, but I like pears.
You eat it like an apple.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's been that long, but yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I suppose I have before, but I like pears though.
Like in the last 10 years, whole pears, like whole raw pears. If I've ate 5, I'd say that's probably more than pushing it.
Yeah, me too.
I could probably say that about a lot of fruits, though.
I like fruit.
I do, but I just never freaking.
We've always got fruit around.
It never sounds that exciting to me. Bananas are like the only one I'll go back to somewhat regularly, and even then, after like a 2-week stretch, I'm like, no, done with these for.
Bananas can be kind of disappointing.
Oh, they're such a.
They're a fickle fruit.
Such a just short window of goodness.
Yes,
it's like, oh, this one's gonna be pretty good.
I know we've even talked about it, but the bad ones are bad.
They are. They're really bad.
Luckily, they're extremely cheap though, so
that does make up for it. Yeah, it's like they're not potato cheap, but they're pretty damn cheap still.
Yeah. Well, are we going to talk about where Massenomics was where we noticed Massenomics in the world this week?
Well, we probably should, but I'm not. You might have to enlighten me. I'm forgetting.
Oh, just that one.
Well, actually, before we get to that, I did want to talk about one more thing.
Oh, okay. You got something else?
We both saw a movie.
Oh,
this
yes.
past weekend.
I'm glad you.
We both saw a movie.
Yeah.
That movie being Joker.
Yeah. My wife and I went to a movie together for. We actually couldn't remember when we would have maybe gone to a movie together without kids.
I wanted to see the movie. You brought it up in Over Under last week.
Yeah.
And I did want to see it. It's a fairly talked about, comic book superhero movie.
Yep.
And it had a little different take, so I was ready to see it. And I would have completely forgot about it. But Sunday, while I'm watching the Vikings game, just flipping through my phone, I see Tanner has a snap at the movie theater. And I thought, I need to go. So I messaged my wife immediately. That was my reminder. And she's like, all right, let's do it. And so we went later that day then.
So you went the day that I went?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Was there very many people there?
When we got there, I had to actually check to make sure that we were at the right time because there was no one there.
Yeah, it was pretty empty when I...
And then by the time the movie actually started,
yeah,
not the previews, like the movie actually started, maybe 5 to 10 people showed up, but yeah, that was it.
So how do we want to do this? Do you want to say your take or my take, or do we just both start talking at the same time? Because there's really a lot. Regardless of what your opinion is, like there's quite a bit to talk. Like there's a lot of opinions to be had about this movie. I think
there are, and I don't think we want to get too far into it and just ruin it for people either.
Right. That's true. That's true.
I mean, right away, I enjoyed the movie a lot. Did you enjoy it?
Oh, I liked it a lot. My wife did not like it.
She didn't.
For her, she thought it was slow.
Okay,
and in comparison to frickin' Avengers,
or any action movie,
whatever. Yeah, it is, but like wasn't necessarily my expectation.
It was part of telling the story.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to get into his life to feel.
Overall, I liked it a lot. Like especially like in the genre, if you're looking at the genre of superhero films, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, it's funny that you say your wife didn't like it because mine didn't really care for it, but it was for a different reason. She cannot stand to see people be like bullied and harassed.
Yeah.
And a lot of the movie, believe it or not, consists of people harassing this guy that's the Joker.
Yeah.
And like if you don't like that stuff, like you got to watch a lot of that.
Yeah, that's that's what it is.
That was like she had to like check out a few times. She's like, I can't. It's like it's a movie. And she's like, I can't watch people be.
I know that feeling. I have not about that in movies, but about certain things in movies that I'm like, ew.
For me, the worst I've ever had that in a movie was the movie Moonlight. And
I don't know.
It was, I think it won the Oscar like it was the year they messed up. Was it 3 years ago, 4 years ago when they messed up? They said like the wrong name for Best Picture. Oh. And I honestly don't even remember if
it was the guy that hosts the Family Feud now, wasn't it?
Well, but was that him or did he? Because he messed up something for sure. But was I think he messed up Miss America or Miss Universe or whatever it was, whatever that thing was. I think that's what he messed up. I don't remember who messed. Oh, this was. I think it was some older like actress messed this one up. But Moonlight, really quick on that. It's just about it's about like this black kid that grows up like kind of in like what would you say, like the ghetto of Florida, I think. Like basically has no dad and like really really not ideal living conditions, and then it follows him as a kid, and then in middle school getting made fun of nonstop and bullied like crazy. Like my wife was like, she couldn't, and I'm like, damn, this is hard to like bullying, man, this is bad stuff. That's the worst one I've ever had. So if you guys haven't seen that movie, I also recommend that one. But anyways, back to the Joker.
The Joker. But what I think is, most of these superhero movies or supervillain or whatever you want to say, like their story of how they became what they are, it's like Spider-Man was bit by a spider.
Well, yeah, there's always the radioactive.
Yeah, that's the radioactive bucket of waste that they fall into. Like
the planets aligned and this thing happened, and
like that's. I mean, it is what it is. That's what they're. I mean, it's fiction and everything, and you're into that. That's okay. But what I really thought was cool about the Joker is that that's like, oh, this really is like a real life thing of how someone could become that guy.
Yeah, I mean,
like this is really, really real life stuff.
Essentially, what it was a mentally ill man that couldn't get any help or support in life.
He was, abused as a child.
Yep. Basically did not have a home life of any kind. Right. Didn't have really a
father,
work life either.
Yeah.
And was just this mentally ill man living in solitude. And believe it or not, people are social creatures, and that will break things in their brain.
Yeah.
That broke things in his. And so you just watch this guy kind of go into the spiral of craziness.
Yeah.
And Joaquin Phoenix, his performance was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I thought so.
I would be shocked if he doesn't get a nomination for like best actor for it, and then like if I wouldn't be surprised at all if he won.
I didn't realize how skinny he had gotten for it.
Yeah,
I'm like, whoa,
he got really like weirdly skinny.
Yeah.
Like there's a few scenes where he's like basically in his underwear walking around. And it's like, damn, dude, you're skin and bones, man.
Yeah.
Which that would I couldn't imagine doing that and then, like just as someone that likes to work out, like just being like, all right, I got to lose 60 pounds or whatever it is. And then somehow try to come back to that. Like I'll get back to this. It's going to be a few years, but I'll get back to this. Like, like whatever, like mediocre level of fitness I have right now. Like, it took so long to even get to here. And you're telling me I got to start completely over.
Right.
But when he's doing his laughing thing, it's like, that looks so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And he keeps doing it and he's like coughing and crying and laughing.
Yeah.
It's it's wild. But overall, I mean, the movie has that really gritty feel. It's definitely trying to hit at something along the lines of mental health with
for sure.
people and societies.
Yeah. And it does.
It does. And it even, brings up the whole question of, I mean, and these are kind of just big general principles, but like the wealthy elite and issues with cops and all types of stuff. It touches on those in smaller parts, but really the whole thing is a mentally ill man that is the Joker.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool though. I liked it. It was very entertaining.
I thought so too.
and he's just a dancing machine.
Yeah,
just
he does
dancing,
do a lot of it in there.
just dancing away.
A lot of kicking around.
I need to get on that dancing program, I guess.
Actually, that was one of the comments my wife said at the end of it. She's like, I don't know that I really cared for all the all that. I can't remember what she called it, but that's what she was referring to. She was like, all that stuff that he was doing constantly.
The extra things.
Yeah.
But it was very good. I would probably give it at least 4 J.D. Power and Associates awards.
Yeah, I would give it 4 J.D. Power and Associates awards
and
on our
recommend
traditional scale.
Yep. And we don't review a lot of movies, so
No.
so you guys are welcome for that one.
Yes. It just so happens we both saw the same new movie on the same weekend.
It just worked out.
Yeah. It doesn't work out like that very often, considering I typically never see a new movie.
Yeah.
So the chances of us both seeing a new
It's
one
probably done for now.
Yeah. That'll do me for a couple of years.
Okay. Well, we'll touch on that segment again down the road.
Yeah, in episode 290.
Yeah, that's a good even number.
Yeah.
I was just speaking of JD Power and Associates Awards, Tanner. We were just crowned with, I think, at least 5 of them in the past week.
And like we said, we don't necessarily do all this that we do for the awards, but it does feel good.
It's a byproduct of
yeah.
When you're committed to excellence, things just fall into place. And in this case, it was JD Power and Associates trophies raining from the sky.
And it is nice to just be noticed. But we put in the hard work.
Yeah. What did we win? 2019 longest running most dependable.
Most dependable. Yeah, dependable is the key word.
Yeah, the key word here with all these, there is a key word that does matter.
Best Instagram page.
And if you guys are curious
quality.
what awards we won, just hop on our Instagram page. You can see the slide.
There's a pile of them.
Yeah, initial quality, most expensive equipment, or most expensive gear. It was all there.
Best in class apparel.
Best in class, best in class. One funny thing is, I don't know if it's because I'm aware of it or because I Googled JD Power and Associates Awards, but I had an actual ad pop up in my Instagram story for a JD Power and Associates Award that, who the hell won it? A company won one, and I thought, a company besides a car company can win these things?
One of the... It's funny you said that. One of the guys from the gym, Josh, that I have on Snapchat, he just sent me one today, an Instagram ad.
Yeah, that's what I saw it today.
And he said, "Oh, thanks you guys. Now I'm getting these because of you."
God,
I'm
was
like,
it,
yeah,
was
it probably
it an insurance
is.
company or something financial?
I can't remember what his was. Hertz, I think.
Oh, it was Hertz. Yes, it was Hertz. Yes,
Yeah.
that is what I got that today too.
Yeah, it has to have something to do with us talking about it all the time.
Because I didn't even know anyone besides the car company could win.
Hertz is a rental car.
I mean, they kind of are in the same line, in the same business a little bit, but it was funny and very weird at the same time. Well,
I guess they give them to anyone these days. They don't mean what they used to.
They really don't. They're watering down their achievement with those things. But hey, that's just the way it goes. We should probably do some ads here, Tanner, before we get too carried away with the rest of the show.
One of my favorite segments, the advertisements.
That's
how we keep the lights on with the advertisements.
It's called I'm gonna pay some bills. Here we go.
Yeah.
I do gotta clear my throat though, Tanner. I gotta prepare for this.
It was all that peach pear that got stuck down there.
It was. There's a whole peach pear.
There wasn't entire. There was actually bits of peach pear in this LaCroix.
It's like
that's how much flavor there is.
The naked juice. There's over 30 peach pears in this can.
There's over a third of a peach pear in this can of LaCroix.
I'd say that's maybe being generous, but today's show is brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large is your one-stop online shop for powerlifters, strongmen, Highland Game athletes, CrossFit athletes, and anyone that lifts iron. They have over 2,100 training tools from the top brands like Titan Support Systems, ER Equipment, Spud Inc., Skull Smash, Prolock Collars, Kabuki Strength, Texas Bars, Pioneer Belts, and more than 15 other manufacturers. Lifting Large has been serving strength athletes around the world through their online store for over 15 years. Owners Mike and Teal Ottoman have over 55 years of experience competing in powerlifting, strongman, and Highland Games. They hold multiple world and American records, so you can rest assured knowing the products they carry are the best in the industry. Visit liftinglarge.com today. There is free shipping on any orders over $60, and 99% of orders are shipped the same day they are placed. Listeners of the Massenomics podcast can save 20% on Lifting Large branded items. Just use discount code MASS20 at checkout. That's MASS20, at checkout to save 20% on Lifting Large branded items. Place your orders at liftinglarge.com, and you can follow them on Instagram at liftinglarge.com. That's liftinglarge, DOTCOM.
They do. Maybe I mentioned it before, but they do have some stuff, really affordable stuff on there, especially with the free shipping, like their Texas power bars, Texas deadlift bars, that stuff. I'm really eyeballing their Texas deadlift bar because the price they have it, and with the free shipping, it's cheaper than what a lot of their sites have it if they're on sale.
And then the Texas Trinity is complete.
Yes, exactly.
That is the most important piece, probably.
That's true. Yes,
the trifecta.
Yes, we have a few power bars and a squat bar already, but we have the
deadlift bar.
We have an Oklahoma deadlift bar.
Which at this point is kind of like almost turning into old news in the deadlift bar world.
That's true.
They don't have all that marketing hype behind them like the rest of these companies.
That's right.
Today, the Massenomics podcast is also brought to you by Spud Inc. and the Magic Carpet Sled. The Spud Inc. Magic Carpet Sled is a heavy-duty weight sled designed for maximum versatility and portability. At less than 4 pounds, it's considerably lighter than a traditional metal dragging sled, but gives up nothing in weight capacity. It's able to take on more than 600 pounds in steel plates. Use the Magic Carpet Sled on grass, AstroTurf, carpet, or in any gym or training space with rubber or tile flooring. If it's a non-abrasive surface, you're good to go. When your weighted sled training is complete, simply roll up the Magic Carpet Sled and drop it back in your gym bag. For athletes at any level, this is a convenient, effective way to build the posterior chain and metabolic conditioning with one movement. Fun fact, the Magic Carpet Sled is also part of the Army PT test.
Oh, which we
have discussed before.
Yeah.
One thing to note, the Magic Carpet Sled should not be used on concrete, asphalt, or any rough textured surface. Speed sled training on such surfaces can cause irreparable damage to the sled.
It would chew it up.
But otherwise, anywhere else, you are good to go, man.
In the Army PT, a lot of times they would probably be doing it on grass outside if it's the right time of year. So I suppose it works really good for that. We actually made the comment when we went over the new Army PT test that we need to be making something that they can trap bars because then you get that government contract.
That sweet government
and Spud
contract.
Inc.
God, we need to talk to those guys. Wow. Okay.
Being smart businessmen and women over there.
There they go. Check out Spud Inc. online for the Magic Carpet Sled and other great products at spud-inc-straps.com, and be sure to follow them on Instagram at spud-inc-straps.
I do think the big thing on the Magic Carpet Sled, though, is just how portable and light that is. Like,
sure.
Would literally weigh nothing in comparison to these other sleds.
And the fact that sleds are not cheap.
No, not at all.
Essentially, you're just trying to push a heavy object around.
For
and you got to pay
you're doing.
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get a metal hunk that can hold a plate.
Right.
So, this is a great alternative.
For sure.
Especially if you live in an area where you are inside a gym for 6 months of the year like us.
Yep.
It's a great thing to add in. And this episode is also brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. If you've been training without a coach and have been looking for a competitive edge, remember to check out hybridperformancemethod.com. Hybrid has 15 different strength and fitness programs covering everything from powerlifting and strongman to gymnastics and general fitness, all in one training membership. That's not all. Hybrid also offers one-on-one personalized nutrition coaching that uses lifestyle habits and a flexible approach to shape your nutrition plan around your current lifestyle, instead of turning your lifestyle upside down in order to support unsustainable habits that only work in the short run the way most programs do. If you're ready to take your training, nutrition, or both to the next level, use code MASS in all caps for 5% off memberships to all programs for the life of your membership. That's hybridperformancemethod.com. Thank you to our sponsors.
You know what I was thinking about Hybrid is I wondered if we had any listeners out there. I know we do have some listeners out there because I know we have some followers on Instagram at least that currently use Hybrid Performance for coaching. If we could get any testimonials from anyone. If anyone out there is using it and wants to be talked about on the podcast, shoot us a message or an email, either an Instagram message or an email at getbig@Massenomics, and we could feature you.
We'll feature your story.
Tell us about what you've done with them and your experience. But I know like Tom Callis competed this weekend here.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw he put up he went into a USPA meet for the first time is what it looked like. He's doing a walked out squat and did you see he squatted 777 in shorter wraps too, I guess. I
didn't know that was a
I guess some of them you can use lengths. A 3 meter versus
I
a
know
2.5.
there's different lengths, but I didn't think it was like that common even between those. I thought it was like really odd feds that no one's heard of allow these longer runs. But
Right.
yeah, I didn't realize it was like that.
But it looked like he did really well, even under the
stricter conditions.
Standards,
you could say.
Yeah. So it must have been his hybrid performance coaching.
Got to be the coaching.
I assume it was.
For sure.
Yep.
One other thing too, Tanner, that we've done with ads. There was a listener out there that said since they skipped the ads, they had to buy some gear. So thank you for that. That's pretty cool.
But that is, you can support us by supporting the people that support us would be these three sponsors that we've had on the show for several episodes now. So by supporting those three and also by directly supporting us through Massenomics.com. It's an excellent way.
Because we're all about that money.
Yeah. Those of you that follow us know that is actually correct. It's why we do it.
That's what makes the Massenomics
It's not about the people or
not about these relationships or
it's the money.
The fun. It's just the money. We don't care about the lifting. We don't care about any of it.
If that was true, this would have been such a disappointing process for the last several years.
Our sights would have been set maybe a little too low.
Yeah.
But yep, that is not the case. So.
Right.
So we will continue on, like we know nothing else.
Yep.
Tanner, we should talk about though a certain article that poked its head back up.
Yeah, our article was what was the name of that article? It's a few years old even at that point.
Was it what if these NFL powerlifters or what if these NFL players powerlifted?
That
was one of our relatively early articles.
Yes, and it became a pretty popular one for us, especially at the time.
Yeah, and even now, I mean, it
still gets quite a bit of traffic.
It still does get a decent amount of traffic, and it ranks pretty high in those. If you type in NFL powerlifting, I think it's probably number one. I mean, those keywords put it very high in the list.
Yes.
And how did you come across this thing?
It was a guy that used to lift at the gym, Grayson, sent me a screenshot on Snapchat and said, just randomly watching this YouTube video and they mentioned Massenomics. Awesome. And I was like, oh, what is it? And he sent me the link to it and I clicked on it and I was like, huh. And did you see how many views it had on YouTube?
It had like over 1 million views.
Yeah, it had like 1.4 million views or something like that.
I'd never heard of the channel. I don't even remember. Actually, here we'll find it.
I do not remember the channel either, actually.
KTO.
Yeah.
No idea what that channel is.
Yeah. What's the name of their video?
Who's the strongest player in NFL history?
Okay. But what they did what did they do in their video? Like,
so I didn't. The video's fairly. No, it's 8 minutes long.
Yeah.
You just said to go to the 4 minute mark. I didn't even watch the first 4 minutes, so I have no idea.
I didn't actually ever watch the first 4 minutes.
I'm assuming they're just talking about some random stuff, and then they go, "But what if these what if these NFL players powerlifted?" Well, fortunately, the website Massenomics answered this question for us. And then
they pronounced it right.
Yeah, they did.
And then they went through every NFL player that we featured.
Yeah, and we've actually done that on a podcast. Probably 3 years ago when it first came out. I mean, basically, we made that entire video. He probably didn't listen to the podcast, but
no.
The funniest part, though, I didn't know if I was the only one thinking this, but you said the same thing, is that when he starts announcing the players' names, he just screenshotted our
everything
stats
off
for
of
the player and just put that screenshot right on the video. Like, didn't even bother to retype it or anything.
Yeah, no.
So it was like, hey, man, I'm glad we could do that research for you.
Yep.
Still, I don't care. Sure.
No, they did give us credit.
They did,
so that's cool.
It would have been cooler if they would have linked us in the
yes.
Because
had they clicked on anyone clicked on an article at that point, they're like, oh, this is the exact thing that I just watched.
Probably what it would have been.
Yeah.
So they run through the whole list, and maybe really quickly, maybe we should we just touch on the list really quick?
We could, yeah. We could touch all over that list.
Touch all up on that list. All right, let's get the old computer machine over here.
I'm gonna pull up our blog one too, because I didn't actually look at it, player by player, but I do think that they copied every single one that we had done, if I remember right.
Okay, what if these NFL players powerlifted by Massenomics, October 4th, 2016, so just over 3 years ago.
Okay.
And first on the list, we had J.J. Watt, And these were all, some of these, like you were going out, because Tanner, you wrote this article.
Yeah.
Some of these you were going off of.
Yeah,
like,
I had to
some
just
of the guys actually did compete in
Right.
a powerlifting meet. Not many, but a few of them did. But you were going more off of their height, weight, what they had done with
the best reported numbers we had
actual
heard,
recorded
yeah.
numbers. Some of them had Instagram posts that, okay, it wasn't to a competition standard, but these guys are world-class athletes, so there's no doubt about it. If they wanted to do it to a competition standard, they could get there in relatively little time.
But so we were taking we were guesstimating. It was a guesstimate based on the best information.
But they were
available.
by no means outrageous guesses.
No. They were reasonable.
I think they were all reasonable. Some of them probably even conservative.
Yeah.
I just have a hard time believing that if J.J. Watt wanted to make a lot of powerlifters look dumb, that he would have any troubles making that happen. You know?
Yeah.
I think he could show up if he said, "Screw the NFL, I'm starting a crazy drug cycle and I'm going to break every record." I'd say, yeah, you could probably do a lot of that if you wanted to.
Yeah, I see. They did leave about. We had a list of about 10, and in the video they left
like
out
4
a few.
or 5,
yeah, like Eli Manning was on our list because it wasn't like this is the list of the strongest guys in the NFL.
We were just saying, what if they did?
Yeah, and that was like a funny one. Is like Eli Manning.
I do remember though because we brought up Eli Manning, and I think in the original one, a lot of people you mentioned that Eli Manning had been recorded having a 315-pound bench.
Well, I put his as 300.
Oh, 300.
300, yeah.
And a lot of people were so butthurt. There's no way Eli Manning could do that. It's like, dude, he's 6'4" and 220 pounds.
Right.
He's not a little guy. Also,
300 isn't this like...
He's been... You might think that quarterbacks maybe do nothing. Maybe they really do nothing. But he's been around a weight room for probably 20 years.
Yeah.
It's not that unfathomable
that
to think that he can bench 300 pounds.
Right.
A lot of people bench 300 pounds.
And his Wonderlic score was a 25.
Most importantly.
Yeah. But they did rip off all the good ones that we had on here.
Yeah.
They did exclude Adrian Peterson. I'm surprised.
Oh, no, they didn't talk about him?
Oh, did they? And they excluded Tim Tebow. I suppose he's not in the NFL anymore, so they
obviously you got to keep
out.
Vernon Davis in there, though.
Yeah. Stephen Paella, Steve Weatherford they included.
Yep.
They took out Connor McGovern. I'm not sure if he's in the NFL anymore, but they did leave Andrew Billings, I know, and J.J. Watt, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that was it. Because Stephen Paella, he was the one that did 49 in the 225 bench press reps.
Okay.
Yeah. So they did include him in there.
And
James Harrison they included too.
That, I got to give these guys credit. That was the cool thing about their video is that they actually linked to, while the guy's talking, doing his voiceover, they actually linked to actual clips of a lot of these feats. But the last one, and I am by no means like an NFL diehard, pay attention to much in there at all. I just honestly don't even care about a lot of it. But who's this last guy, Tanner?
Larry Allen.
Larry Allen.
Offensive lineman for the Dallas Cowboys.
And I do remember seeing, so he is on record. I'm using that a little loosely, but having a 700-pound bench press.
Well, except I would contest. They said like we forgot, and like, but they forgot the. And I was like, no, we didn't have a list of the strongest guys in the NFL of all time.
We were just purely putting together a what if list.
Yeah.
But so, okay, I already forgot his name again.
Larry Allen.
Larry Allen, yeah.
Yeah. A freak.
So they have him down here as this video says 700-pound bench press, an official squat of 905 pounds, and 10 reps at 520 on the incline bench.
Yeah.
And
I think it's the stories of Larry Allen have not been exaggerated either. I think everyone agrees that he was a 700-pound bencher, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and it claims here that he was, I don't know how
that
this
is
even
not
possible.
Right. He is not 11%
this,
body
Yeah, this
fat.
claims he was 325 with 11% body fat. No.
No.
That is definitely, like, one, I seriously think he's bigger than 325. And also, there's no way he has 11% body fat.
Well, he doesn't. You can tell by looking at him. He's not 11%
It's just
fat.
not possible. But he's a big dude.
Yeah.
And what the video goes on, they show this, and I remember seeing this 700-pound bench press attempt, and this is the one that people love to shit on. It's like, the spotter lifted 200 pounds. And, well, I don't think that's the case. And
no.
Yeah, it wasn't done to powerlifting spec, but he's not a powerlifter. He was an NFL.
Right.
Who's in the NFL.
I mean, he's one of the best offensive linemen of all time too. Like, I think widely considered one of the greats.
Yeah, and I don't even know what game this is here, but they're playing the Saints. It looks like.
Yeah,
and I don't even know what era this is.
It was an interception.
Is this like Troy Aikman era? Like I don't even know.
Yeah, I think he probably played with Troy Aikman and probably a little after maybe too. Even but yeah, right around there.
But the amazing thing about this video, and you could probably type it in on YouTube, some combination of words.
Probably Larry Allen runs down. If you just type that,
probably Larry Allen run. Probably comes up, and so he's on the offensive line. The quarterback, whoever it is, throws the ball. It gets tipped by a defensive lineman. It's an interception. I believe it looks like the linebacker, one of the linebackers for the Saints, gets it. He takes off for the sideline and is running down the sideline. Now at this point, he's gone. He has a full head of steam, and he's gone, is he 15, 20 yards?
Yeah.
He's definitely up to full speed. In every case, this should be gone. This should be
It looks like he's going to run for a touchdown.
But there is this cannonball coming out of the bottom of the screen, and that is Larry Allen. And
he gets an angle on him and just
he takes the angle,
reels him in,
and he is striding out like
Like you've never seen a guy that big.
I had to watch this because I'd never seen this.
Yeah.
I had to rewatch this 30-second clip like 8 times because I've never seen a big guy run that fast. He gets the angle on it, runs him down, dives, tackles him, saves the touchdown.
Yeah.
And I was shocked that guy could move like that.
It's really like a freakish play. Like you can see
like,
much.
Why isn't he just the fullback? Like that's what you want to think seeing that, you know? And then I don't.
It is crazy.
It doesn't seem like linemen today are.
And from this view, you see how he's like standing still,
he's
complete
in a dead
standstill, facing the other direction, and then literally just like someone shot him out of the cannon.
Besides being like probably 25 yards away from him, having a full head of steam running the other way, he catches up.
Larry is standing flat feet, facing the other direction, and just turns around on a dime and is on him like nothing. It's crazy. You do need to watch that for sure.
Yeah, it is. And it's funny because all the comments on the video are basically, it's an 8-minute long video. Every comment is about that last clip.
Yeah.
It's like when you put 99 speed and 99 strength on your player in Madden. Larry Allen, why is this even a question? Damn, crazy to see 463 pounds floating through the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. So everyone definitely needs to go track that video down and watch that.
Yes.
Tanner, we are starting to get down there on time, believe it or not.
Ooh, what do we need to jump into overrated, underrated? Or?
We probably do because we're at almost 50 minutes already.
Okay, we've got good for next week then as a teaser, we've got good Name That Lifter. I heard good feedback from a couple people this week that they really like the new Name That Lifter segment.
Okay.
And then we also have Who Weighs More that we'll be able to return to the podcast. We have both of those. But
so we better not bring anything to talk about next week.
No, we just got to get through those segments.
So we can spend 40 minutes going through those.
With overrated or underrated, we like to review last week. We put that out on the Instagram story. You remember topic 1 from last week was October. You said underrated. The people also said underrated, 60%.
Okay, that's when I voted. That's where I was at, and I was a little surprised. I feel like people like to hate on fall, but
I was. But maybe they just went with the same logic you said. They like fall, yes, but October. Okay, October's all right. iOS 13. The people said 75% overrated, but I suppose everyone that doesn't have an iPhone immediately says overrated.
Yeah, you do got a point there.
So that's half the people have an iPhone.
And at least half of people with phones hate whenever their phone updates. So so that's 75%.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Pistachios, you said underrated. 66% underrated by the people.
As it should be.
Pretty good number there. Joker movie. As long as we're talking about it last week, you think you said underrated?
I believe I said underrated.
And what do you say now? You've seen
it. I'll still say underrated. Well, yeah, I still think I say underrated. I think it is getting hyped up quite a bit. I still haven't seen people going crazy about it saying it's the best movie. But
but I've also seen negative stuff. People like that say they don't like it that much too.
Yeah,
so
I'm still standing by my underrated on that.
The people said 61% underrated.
Did they?
Yeah, and a lot of times on movies that goes towards the overrated.
Movies can be polarizing.
Yeah. So that was last week's overrated, underrated segment and the way that the people voted for those. But probably more importantly, we have this week's overrated or underrated.
Most importantly.
We just want to make sure everyone knows that I asked these questions to Tommy, and Tommy, of course, has his druthers when it comes to the length of the answers. And you know about the druthers?
I am familiar with druthers.
Okay.
I know a thing or two about druthers.
You have your druthers on how you answer, the length of your answer, because the questions are lightning round, but the answers don't actually have to be lightning round. It's just the questions that come at you fast. So are you ready for topic number 1 of this week's overrated, underrated?
Let's get it started.
All right, great. Topic number 1, overrated or underrated, the Whopper.
I'm trying to think of the last time I had a Whopper even.
And I'm not talking about the candy Whoppers.
Oh, okay. Good.
Not Whoppers.
Good clarification.
Yeah.
I was on the same page as you, though. I believe my brother and I were just talking about this, that out of all the fast food places, Burger King does smell really good on the outside. Those flame-broiled burgers just put off a real smell that just like kind of gets you ready to eat some meat. But I honestly, okay, so Whopper, does the Whopper have an extra patty in it, or is that just the Big Mac? Or not extra patty, the extra bun in the middle. The Big Mac has that extra
I don't think the
piece of
Whopper
bun.
has that.
Is it just 2 patties with the cheese and
Is the Whopper 2 patties?
I think it's 2 patties. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So it's like a double quarter pounder.
It's still, you're talking about just kind of like a really, really middle of the line fast food burger. I think it's overrated.
Yeah, I can't recall the last time I had one either.
I honestly cannot.
I just think it's interesting that it has its own name. It has such a specific name for that.
McDonald's has the Big Mac.
That's
You gotta have your flagship.
You gotta have the Whopper.
Yeah.
Overrated or underrated, daylight savings time. You talked about it a little bit last week.
Daylight savings time is overrated. Humans playing games with how the way the sun works and how the way time moves. Let's just keep it all this. Let's just keep it on the same thing.
Let's not decide ourselves.
We don't be needing to switch the whole world over and do that whole thing. We can just keep time the way time keeps. I think that's fine. So yeah, daylight savings overrated.
Overrated or underrated, raking the leaves.
Tanner, you are giving me some ones that I'm very decisive on.
Yeah.
Raking leaves is so overrated. I did move this year. We are in a new podcast studio here.
Yes.
My old house had a massive tree outside of it. Massive tree. And that thing would hang on to leaves until late. Like it wasn't.
What mine does.
It wasn't dropping them anytime soon. It was like dropping them like into
December.
the winter time. Yeah. Which either means it's way too cold to be raking, or there's a ton of snow on the ground. And you might think, well, what does it matter? Well, if you don't have to remove snow, you don't know that once you start and once the drifts come in and the snow starts blowing and the leaves start blowing in there too, and now you're shoveling snow with leaves in it. It sucks. It's not fun. No. It sucks. And raking leaves, it's not fun to do. The last few years, I would just, if it would drop soon enough, I would try to hit them one last time with the mower and just chop them up. Yeah. With the idea that hopefully they'll just blow away in their little leaf dust into wherever leaf dust goes. But I would never do the bagging thing or any of that. I would just hopefully maybe have a good day of.
And I do think that the leaves being chopped up is beneficial for.
It is supposed to be good for the soil and the grass and everything.
Yes, it should be
kind of a natural
nutrients.
Compost. You could say, yeah.
Yes.
But raking is the worst. Raking's so overrated.
I agree. It sucks balls.
I don't know who would say raking is underrated.
Raking's only something you have to do because your neighbors do it.
Kids like it because you can put the leaves in the. I still remember being young, be like, "Oh, we're gonna rake these leaves into a pile and jump in them," and then 2 seconds later you realize it's not fun anymore.
But you end up doing it because your neighbors do it, and then you're like, "Well, I guess they did it.
No,
I guess I have to."
I'm looking forward to having almost no raking this year because there's little trees around my house.
Overrated or last topic for the day? Overrated or underrated? Sets of 10. Lifting sets of 10.
Well, this is one of those where I hate to ever say that anyone's fitness program is wrong or incorrect.
Yeah, right.
Because it's all about what you want to do. You know?
Yeah. This is a very open-ended.
For me personally, I don't enjoy doing sets of 10. I don't. Like maybe like accessory type work. especially like
Right.
like an arm day.
Yeah.
You can really get that pump going
That's
on sets
true.
of 10. I feel like a lot of times.
I was thinking more for the because I think
Like your
most
main
people would
program.
agree with that pretty
yeah,
universally.
I mean, you can get a pretty awesome pump going
Yeah.
once you start to hit that 10th rep. It's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah.
Yeah, right.
But I personally don't like sets of 10. When I did them in the past, I went through a little block of doing them, and I felt like for me that it didn't make me stronger. Just got me better at doing sets of 10. That's why, I know for a fact I got better at doing sets of 10. I could. The first few weeks I was doing them, I was dying without a doubt. My muscles hadn't trained for that ever, and so I was dying. But it's the same thing as if all you ran was 100-meter dashes. If all I did for training was run 100-meter dashes, well, the first time I go run something 10 times, next time I go run a mile, I'm going to be dead after a mile because I haven't trained for that at all.
Right.
But then, a few weeks in, you get used to it pretty quick. And I just feel like it didn't make me stronger. Like I went through like a 10-week block, which I don't think is a small amount of time.
Right. No, that's a block.
It's enough to try something. And
what
I can say without a doubt, I did get better at doing 10 sets. I don't know if I got better at actually getting stronger. My other problem and this was me in my experience with it, is that the technique that I used for doing 10 reps was very, very different than the technique I used
Like
for
for
5
3
and
or-
especially 3 in singles.
Yeah.
It's a very different technique because you can't go full tightness like you do on a single
Right.
for 10 reps.
10.
You can't do it. You will.
Well, it's
If
brutal.
you are,
hell.
if you are
like,
actually tightening up like as hard as possible, you'll just pass out.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
getting any air.
Yeah, I agree.
And
it is a different way of doing the
so
reps.
I noticed that all of a sudden, like my squats were much more loosey goosey because I wasn't. I was starting to do this fluid squat thing where I wasn't like getting at the top, locking in, getting everything set, so focused on this one rep. No, I was like, I need to bang these 10 out.
Right, 'cause I got 10 to do here,
One, I got 10, and then before my brain says, oh, you're really tired. I'm just going to try and get through these. So my technique was actually changing, and it wasn't in a way that I felt was helpful for me as a powerlifter, which is to lift a single. And, I know I think my brother likes to do them a lot.
Your brother makes good progress off of doing those.
He really likes to do it.
Blocks.
And he's done them for long blocks for a few years now. And maybe that's just the thing. You just have to do it for a long, long time. But I just don't enjoy them. Enjoy doing them. Plus, you're at the gym for so long. You know, that's the other one.
Especially on hard sets of 10, and if you're doing 3, 4, 5 sets, that is a brutal workout. Like that takes time.
I don't want to be at the gym for 2 hours, and I don't know if for me that is the bang for your buck. For me, the bang for your buck training regimen. So, I gotta say, I think sets of 10 are overrated for the main lifts.
I think everyone, whether you like to use them in training or not, could agree that the feeling of doing hard sets of 10 really sucks on a squatter. And I'm talking about a squatter.
I remember like the first, it took like my body like 2 weeks to get used to it. And I was sore. Like I was a little sore from benching and a little sore from deadlifting, but squat, it was like my legs, it was a soreness my legs hadn't had in just so, like it took me back to like the first time like ever starting to do squats again. And after like 2 weeks I got used to it and I'm thinking like, okay, I get it. I'm crazy sore from doing 10 sets of 10 at 275 or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does that translate over to helping my going for a single of 550 pounds, or whatever that last single I did was like the last contest I did. My top single was 540. And like, I don't think that helped me prep for that part of it for me personally. It was not there I didn't like it. If you're looking for a way to do conditioning when you're lifting, I mean, no, that's a way to do it.
It is. It's brutal. But so that is our little bit of lifting sprinkled in with overrated and underrated. Every once in a while, every so often we sprinkle a little lifting in there. Yeah. So that was our lifting topic for the month on overrated, underrated.
Ooh. Now we got that one out.
Yeah. Now we can get back to the important stuff like Whopper sandwiches. Yeah. We're slowly addressing all the various sandwiches from the popular fast food places.
Make the rounds.
We've had many of those on the overrated, underrated before.
We have had a few, yeah.
Popeye's chicken sandwich. We've had,
and all of them have one thing in common. I've either never had it or haven't had it in a very long time.
Yeah. So that wraps up overrated, underrated. And this is usually the part of the show when we talk about all the stuff that we sell.
Yeah.
So our newest two things still are the Benchin 315 shirt and the Crispy Boys shirt. Neither of us are wearing either this week, but
I wore them earlier in the week. Haven't done laundry yet, but
so you have worn both yet.
I have worn both.
Did you feel pretty cool?
I'm a big fan of both.
Starting to see more people wearing them out in the wild, the wild of Instagram.
Oh, Jonathan was rocking his Crispy Boy shirt with the jorts, which I mean that's
right.
Name a better duo all way.
That's right.
Know?
And he squatted
and squatted what 770? Yeah, it was 770, 778, 780. Yeah, for a triple.
Yeah.
Is that the reason for it? Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Our jorts are single ply though, right, or not?
It depends on how much stretch is in them, I think.
That's true. How much elastic's in the waistband?
Yeah, it's definitely about that waistband. But he's onto something over there. So I think he has a meet coming up in what?
Maybe a month.
Is it?
Or maybe more than a month. It's a little
it
more
might be
than
8 weeks.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, something like that.
I believe before the end of the year, though.
Yes, it is for sure. I think it's probably in November, maybe sometime the end of November.
So we'll keep our eyes peeled.
We'll keep an eye on that. It looks like he's probably wants to squat a whole bunch of weight, I would assume. If he's doing like 785 for a set of 3.
He's not planning on squatting 750.
He's probably planning on squatting in great excess of 800 pounds.
I would think so.
Mm-hmm. So we will keep our eyes peeled for that. Mm-hmm. But you can buy those shirts and all of our other shirts. Just about everything is stocked right now. It's like a never-ending battle at this point of keeping things stocked.
When you're moving that product.
Yeah. We're getting...
You know what they say, Tanner? Mo money, mo problems.
That's right. That's so true in this case. The most recent things we restocked were Lift pint glasses. We've got more Lift banners coming in. The Don't Curl in Me shirt. As of today, we're out of a few sizes of that, but we have a full restock of that shirt on the way. So if you're been after one of those, it should be very soon, and we'll have that. Mm-hmm. Everything else is still in there. That is it on our products. What else do we do? Like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube. The YouTube first comment battle rages on. Like it's not getting any easier.
You know, every week someone wins the battle. No one has won the war yet, though.
That's right. I don't know what actually is required to win the war.
I don't either. Someone will do it someday.
We're going to continue to have battles in the meantime.
There's going to be these limited skirmishes.
Yeah. And we did want to thank our sponsors again and let you know that today's episode is brought to you by Spud Inc. The goal of Spud Inc. straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. This episode is also brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method, your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching. Whether your goals are training related, nutrition and body composition related, or both, Hybrid has a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you're in the best hands possible. Use code MASS, M-A-S-S, in all caps for 5% off any training or nutrition memberships for the life of your membership. Visit hybridperformancemethod.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large is your one-stop online shop for powerlifters, strongmen, Highland Games athletes, CrossFit athletes, and anyone that lifts iron. Visit liftinglarge.com today. There's free shipping on any orders over $60, and 99% of the orders are shipped the same day that they are placed. Thank you to our sponsors. That brings us to the end of episode 185. You can make sure to check us out on Instagram. Tommy, what do you got for a handle out there?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
And of course, you can follow the official Massenomics Instagram page at Massenomics. We'll see you next time.
See ya.